Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video, and today I wanted to do a video. This seems like a bit of a weird one to make, right? When is the 5-year anniversary on Global? But you guys would be surprised at the amount of times I see that question everywhere, on everyone's videos, on the Dokkan subreddit, on everyone's tweets. Like, it's all just things that are constantly asked. I mean, you know, the game is constantly bringing in new players. You know, I'm sure there's someone out there who saw the super attack animations for Gogeta and Vegito on Twitter or something and thought, oh, I actually kind of want to check this out, right? So, you know, I figured it would be good to make this video just to sort of say when the 5th year anniversary is. Currently, the delay I feel between the 5-year, like the anniversary on JP and the anniversary on Global is like probably the worst thing about Dokkan in general, like between either version. Because typically, you know, these anniversary units are like the single most hype thing that drops for a long time, right? And, you know, Global is kind of just sitting there, like, waiting for these, like, you know, so many banners will release afterwards. I think I have the timeline of events right here, yeah, or no, right here, okay. Okay, so let's go to the 3-year anniversary, right? So for the 3-year anniversary, we're looking at the timeline of events for Global. We have LR Gogeta and LR Vegito, these fusion units that introduced a new mechanic into the game, the transformation mechanic, right? Like, Gogeta and Vegito, it doesn't really get more hype than that for most people that play this game or are fans of Dragon Ball and stuff like that. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like fusion as just like a gimmick in Dragon Ball. I mean, I personally love it. I think it's amazing, right? So, like, they release, right? And then what comes out next? Turles. I mean, Turles ain't... Turles is not matching the hype of those fusions, right? So, like, you know, if you're on Global and, like, Turles drops, and it's like, oh, that's a skip. And then what comes out next? Let's see. Then we scroll down. Next Dokkan Festival. Oh, then we move into the... I should do this on the JP. Yeah, we're going to do this on the JP side. It'll be much easier to make my point. Okay. Now, I just remember, too, the 3 anniversary is actually unique in that there was something released right after that is, like, either as hype or more hype. And that's UI Goku did actually drop after the 3-year anniversary. But on Global, they did move him up before the anniversary, right? But typically, like, if you take a look at the post-anniversary stuff, you know, Turles down here, then the next one, I can't even remember, Jiren and Evolution Blue Vegeta. Like, I guess that is hype, again, because we had Dragon Ball Super at that time, right? I don't know, maybe I'd make a better point on the 4-year anniversary. Let me move to the 4-year anniversary and let's see, because I feel like typically, like, these big anniversary, like, banners drop with these amazing units, and then Global players are stuck, like, for months. It's like, yeah, this unit is great, but, like, you know, should save for the anniversary. Now, I am going to talk about that more later on in the video, how I think it is super important to save for the anniversary just because of the value is super high. And the biggest advantage Global has over JP always presents itself during the anniversary, and, you know, we'll talk about that too. All right, so 4th anniversary, right? The LR Super Saiyan 4s, ridiculously hype, amazing active skill units. I don't know, actually, for them, they did actually fade in hype as time went on, because the thing about the Super Saiyan 4s compared to a lot of the units that came after them is the Super Saiyan 4's attack animations were not nearly as hype as a lot of the other units that came after them, now that I'm thinking about it, right? So, like, let's not count them. We're talking about Dokkan Fest exclusives, right? Like, Kid Goku had way better animations than the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Then next was Transforming Vegeta. I mean, the Super Saiyan 4s have better... The Transforming Vegeta doesn't really have that great of animations, honestly. They're a lot of them are pretty lackluster, pretty bummy. Not really anything crazy. Hit came out on Global beforehand. You know, I mean, Hit is okay. I mean, Hit is... I don't know. I think Hit's one of the most boring, just uninspired Dokkan Fest exclusives there is in quite a while, right? Then we have Trunks and Zamasu. Again, they have way better animations than the Super Saiyan 4s. So, like, you know, I'm sure there were players who it's like, oh, wow, I'd much rather save for Trunks and Zamasu over the Super Saiyan 4s. There were definitely people saying that. Although the anniversary banners, I think, were definitely better than the Trunks and Zamasu banners. And then after that is Namek Goku, who, again, has better animations. Okay, so we're 0 of 2 of me trying to make this point, but whatever. Anyway... I do think you're probably better off as a Global player saving for these anniversary units and these big ass ticket banners rather than summoning like crazy on a lot of the banners that are going to be coming afterwards, right? So if we go to actually this category right here and we scroll all the way down, right? So the things that are going to be coming to global very soon. Oh, now I went through the comments. This is a mess. Sorry, whatever. Okay, so things like this, right? The Super Saiyan 2 transforming Goku and the Super Saiyan 2 transforming Vegeta. I mean, their banners, I think, are really bad. You know, you definitely want to skip those. The anniversary is way better, right? Then you get this guy right here, Android 13. Again, Android 13, you don't, like, unless you run Androids all day, every day, you don't want Android 13, especially as a free-to-play player. LR Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku is great, but you want, like, this is all stuff to skip, right? Like, the only unit really worth a damn I look at is Cooler, but they're gonna nerf his banner because they took Namek Goku off his banner. Namek Goku was on his banner on JP. They brought Namek Goku back early on Global, so I expect Namek Goku to not be on that banner. They are definitely going to take him off, so keep that in mind. And if we look at it, right, so we always know when the anniversary is coming. It's almost always the same. So here's Scr Gogeta. This was the big, godly one-year anniversary unit. If we take a look here, he released on February 4th, 2016 on JP, and then July 8th, 2016 was when he came out on Global, right? Then, of course, he came with Janemba, who was not as hype of a unit at the time, but as they've both gotten their EZA and aged, I would say Janemba has surpassed Gogeta. But, like, you know, these units are both top-tier options on many of their teams, even to this day. Like, all these anniversary units do age very, very well. Then we have the 2-year anniversary units. Now, starting here is where the JP dates begin to align pretty much perfectly, whereas Global, we're going to notice, is in that same spot like pretty much every single year. So, Super Saiyan 4, Goku, and Vegeta came out. Again, now these guys were way more hyped than all the things that came after for the 2nd year anniversary, right? Because we're talking, like, Super 17. I mean, I guess Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku is cool, but he was definitely not as hype as the advent of the Super Saiyan 4s in Dokkan, right? So if we scroll down here, again, there was Super 17, Kid Buu, Cooler, Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Like, a lot of them are cool, right? And, like, Super 17, this was the first time he was added into Dokkan. And then we end up with Kid Buu here, but, like, these guys are not nearly as hype as the Super Saiyan 4s were. Even this Gogeta and Janemba, because these guys are, like, reprints, right? Like, you know, we did already have the first Janemba and Gogeta, whereas those Super Saiyan 4 units were the number one hyped ones. Although I would say this guy, upon his introduction into the game, like, I felt like he was the best Dokkan Fest exclusive at the time, right? The summonable LRs have begun to release, so he wasn't the best unit ever, this guy, but I did feel like he was the best Dokkan Fest exclusive at the time. And then what was next for Dokkan Fest exclusives? Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. Yeah, another retread. Like, there's just a lot of retreads coming up right before the anniversary, and then Super Saiyan 3 Broly. But as you guys can see, like, for months afterwards, like, there was things that Dokkan needed to add into the game, but not units I would say would surpass that level of hype. So on Global that year, everyone is just waiting for the Super Saiyan 4s to drop, right? But then that date, right, January 31st, those two came out. By the way, I mean, in 2020, I expect these leaders, these 120% leaders, to begin EZAing. So, I mean, these two are going to be wild when they get their EZAs. Now, obviously, they're probably not going to be better than the LR Super Saiyan 4s, even with EZAs. But these units are going to become crazy on the LR Super Saiyan 4 teams, right? Because you can use this guy on Vegeta's team. You could use this guy on Goku's team. Plus, like, this guy, eventually I think we will get a Baby Saga category. This guy will obviously be tremendous over here. Or over there. And then, you know, Vegeta will be good on that team as well. So I guess that does kind of, like, hurt the hype for these guys' EZAs, that they're probably not going to be better than the LRs. But, you know, still a thing. Alright, so then we get the LR Gogeta and Vegito units, still to this day incredibly good, and then look at the date, January 31st, and then again, that July 8th, like right in that exact same time frame there. These LR Fusions, again, have aged very well, they're still very good, and they're still leaders for the Potara and Fusion team, which, I mean, to this day are still two of people's favorite teams in the game, right? All right, so next we have the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Again, the date, January 30th and then July 9th. So as you guys can see, the dates are very, very consistent. And then now we have the LR 5-year anniversary fusions, January 30th. So you can mark it down that these blue fusions right here, Vegito and Gogeta, you can expect them between July 7th and probably July 9th. In that time frame right there is when the blue fusions are going to release. So we can go ahead and scroll down. Wow, it is a long time away. Again, so probably the 7th all the way to the 10th, in that range, is where we are going to see the fusions. Typically, I believe they always do start the anniversary for Global on July 7th. So we'll see at that. So the 9th, again, I would say is probably the likely landing spot for the blue fusions. And I know it's unfortunate that, you know, these guys are by far the most hyped things in Dokkan right now, and it's this long until they release on Global. But until Dokkan decides, okay, for Global and JP, they're both going to celebrate the JP anniversary, which, you know, again, is usually like right around the last couple days in January. Like both versions, what was it this year? Is the 31st? The 30th, okay. So it's like, okay, both versions on the 30th, we're going to go ahead and drop Blue Gogeta and Vegito. Like they drop on both versions, Global and JP at the same time. Then when we scroll down to July 9th, when these guys are likely going to come out, then they would do like an anniversary for Global celebration that both versions celebrate. And then let's say for this, they release Evolution Blue Vegeta and they release, Mastered UI Goku as the two banners. And like, bam, there we go. That's how we fix that problem, because usually the anniversary, this is where they introduce new mechanics. You know, the equipment is a new thing that they've added this year. You know, and it's just like, if you're on Global, like you're just sitting there for 6 months, because they don't move it up. They don't change the date. They don't change the time frame. Some things on Global come out early. Some things come out late, right? Something like UI Goku, he came out after barely even 2 months had passed on JP. He came so quick. But then you look at something like Dragon Ball Super Trunks and the Merge Zamasu we talked about earlier. You know, they came out on April in JP, but then they came out in November on Global, way, way late. So, you know, it's units come out at different time frames, but having to wait this long for like the big sort of like celebration, the biggest the anniversary, these units, new mechanics, it is tough. I do understand that as a Global player, but it's not all bad, because the number one thing that Global gets that JP does not get, and I'm very tired of hearing people really try and downplay this, which is absurd to me, is Global will get these tickets, right? Which JP does not get. There is no ticket version for this over on JP, right? So Global gets these tickets, which basically it's an exact replica of the Stone banner, but you could just summon on this with tickets that you get for actually summoning on the Stone banner. So for someone like me, right, who, you know, usually like on one of these anniversaries, I'd spend thousands of dollars, right, to rainbow the units. This would probably save me like 1,000 plus, like just having these tickets. Like, you know, I know the homie Goresh many times summons on these banners, gets like one copy of the unit or something like that, and then on the ticket banner he's able to get a couple, right? Like, you know, Goresh is really one of the only whales on my level that I know of over on Global. I mean, the whale, I don't really see anyone whale on Global anymore like that. Those days are kind of just done, right? I suppose most people kind of dried up when vendors went away, right? But, you know, really, at these days, it seems like the only, like, megaton whales, it's just me, Nolar, and Gresh. That's it. Like, everyone else, you know, because, like, you look at someone like, you know, D3 or Nano or Rhyme, you know, they just do like their summon videos, but that's it, right? Whereas like, you know, me, Goresh, and Nolar, we're like, okay, we're rainbowing them no matter what. So yes, obviously the tickets are a huge advantage for me, right? Because it's going to save me a lot of stones, a lot of money. But this is just as valuable for free-to-play players. But a lot of people just don't want to listen. Banners like this, right? Which are just filled with top-tier units. Now, this banner, you know, in hindsight, you know, like, this guy is a bit of a dead spot. He's not a Dokkan Fest exclusive. Nowadays, pretty much all these banners, every single spot is a Dokkan Festival exclusive, unless it's a new unit, right? So, like, if we think here, let me pull up the Vegito and Gogeta banners real fast, just to show, right? Like every unit on these banners is a Dokkan Festival exclusive, except for the new unit, right? So like, boom, the new unit being Trunks and Mai, and then all the rest, all Dokkan Fest exclusives. Like all through the whole thing. So what that means is they're restricted to these Dokkan Festival exclusive banners. You're not going to pull them from any other banner, right? Which is really, really helpful. And the same thing with the Gogeta banner. You have Bardock and Gine, and then all the rest are Dokkan Festival exclusives, which you can only get from these types of banners. These banners are so insanely good, by the way. Like, I mean, you have, like, look at this. You have, this is, I would, Gogeta and Vegito, they're, like, pretty much tied to me as best units in the game. Like, I feel like in a lot of events, Gogeta is going to look better. In, like, the super long events, I think Vegito is going to look better. But it's like, they're really close. They're designed very well. Unlike the 300 million download celebration units, Gohan and Cell, who I thought are designed horribly, I think Gogeta and Vegito have a beautiful design, and they were done very, very well. So you have, like, you could say either is the best unit in the game, honestly, I think. So just for the sake of discussion, we could say each banner has the best unit in the game on it, right? Vegito and Gogeta. Then you have, like, Gohan is, like, top 5. Then these two are, like, top 5 Dokkan Fest, like, TURs. This guy is honestly not that great, but this guy is still incredible, like a top 10 like int type unit. Like, I don't know, and what is Vegito? I had him at like 3 or 4, I think, like best int units in the game. Like, still ridiculous, right? This guy got his EZA. He's really good. You're gonna get your EZA soon, so he'll be very good. And then this guy is still solid, but he's aged. He's aged a bit. It's just, like, I wish he had more damage reduction. You could take a lot of his damage away, but if you give him more damage reduction, I think he's gonna be a lot better. And then the same thing over here, right? Like, Dokkan Fest LR Cell, like, one of the best units in the game. These guys, some of the best TURs in the game. This guy's still one of the best LRs in the game. This guy's still really good. He's aged a bit, but still really good. This guy is gonna be just heaven on earth when he gets his EZA. He's gonna be so crazy. That Int Gogeta is going to be a wild, wild boy. That's all I know, because he has one advantage over Scr Gogeta. Scr Gogeta does not have 7 links, but Int Gogeta does. He has experienced fighters, which is a really good common attack link for some of those teams. So that's helpful. Omega got his EZA. He's great on the full power team. And then Janemba is one of the best TURs in the game still. Like, over a year after his EZA, and he has not aged even 1 iota. He's still just on top. They made Janemba so incredibly busted, it's insane, right? So, like, if you would save for these banners, like, if you're a free-to-play player, there's no reason to summon on other banners when everything is here. Like, I don't see the argument for not saving all your stones, because if you summon on the cooler banner, you might pull, like, some of these crappy, like not as good units, not the big-time, like, anniversary-style units, like, or big like, okay, so typically the big celebrations of the year, right? Anniversary celebration, download celebration. This is Golden Week, and then this is another anniversary. So we have, like, all of these, like, big-time celebrations throughout the year, and then we go over here, and then you have the New Year's units, which is Gogeta and Broly. So, like, these banners are insane. And then, say you save all your stones on Global, you have 2,000 plus stones, maybe 3,000 stones. You're gonna, like, quintuple your value when they have the tickets on here as well. Because then all these stones, you're then going to get to do free summons with the tickets. And, like, people trying, oh, here we go, the argument about the tickets again. It's like, well, yeah, because it's a big fucking deal. Like, it's not some small insignificant thing. If you can control your spending on the game and how you're tossing stones out, you can take maximum advantage of those tickets. Now, I know people aren't going to like hearing me, of all people, say control your spending, but I will say this. I do not struggle to summon on Dokkan. Me summoning on Dokkan does not affect my life in any way. Like, I could go 20,000 stones in every banner. Like, I'm okay, right? But, like, free-to-play players don't have the money to put into the game. You don't want to put money into the game because it's like, Dokkan with me is like my job, right? Like, it's money I put into the game comes back to me, right? Like, it's different. But, like, if this is just your hobby, I really don't advise putting money into the, here and there for, like, a celebration or something like that. If it's something you really enjoy, there's nothing wrong with it. But you want to be careful because the game is designed to get you to spend money and to go crazy with it. I try and tell people that the game is not your friend. it wants you to spend money, right? It wants you to feel shafted, and if you feel like you do one more multi, you'll get the unit, right? That's intentional. So you want to save for the prime banners where you're going to summon like crazy and pull all these great units. I mean, again, let's say you were a free-to-play global player last year. You know, you have a monstrous buff for the Pure Saiyan team, the Shadow Dragon Saga team, the Vegeta family team, here, Universal Survival Arc team, you know, the Representatives Universe 7 team, the Android team, then Frieza, Movie Boss, Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline. Like, all these units just buff so many different teams. Like, if you had none of these units going into this banner and, you know, you used 3,000 free-to-play stones and got, like, 3 copies of all these guys, like, you're set. And it's just going to be like that this year. And there's going to be tickets. So, like, you know, even though I know it's a shame that, you know, you guys are going to have to wait months and months and months and months to get these guys, right? All the way until July. But to make up for it, those tickets, it's a big deal, man. So let me know what you guys think of the 5th year anniversary, which of course will be coming sometime in July. Between July 7th to 10th is when I think both Vegito and Gogeta's banners will drop. It, of course, will be a very, very hyped time. I do highly encourage you to barely use stones until that time comes, and then really dump the stones into Vegito and Gogeta. So let me know what you guys think of the 5th year anniversary on Global. Again, I would much rather both versions celebrate both versions' anniversary. I think that would be ideal. But until that happens, you know, we'll see how things are going to go. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.